What is up, my friends? It's a brand new week here on Anfield Agenda, and you are very welcome along to today's news roundup. I'm going to be discussing the growing calls for Rio Ngumoha to have a starting place in this Liverpool team. It isn't just fans anymore. Hell, the media are asking for young Rio to get more minutes. We'll also talk about Curtis Jones and some of the criticisms that have been headed his way. We'll have a little bit on a centre-back link to the Reds and lots more over the next 8 to 10 minutes. As always, folks, I want to know your thoughts, so feel free to let me know in the comment section. Drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and I sincerely hope that you do. And tonight I will see you back here at 9 p.m. for the late night agenda, where we'll get stuck into all of this, and of course we'll know what way the Manchester United-Everton game is going. So, lots to get through. Don't forget to enter a giveaway, by the way. We're giving away that signed and framed Jurgen Klopp shirt this month. There's about 5 days left to enter, and don't worry if you don't win, because you can still get 20% off at thecollectorscorner.co.uk with our code Anfield Agenda 1. Right, let's get into it. Lewis Steele. So he said, nobody is saying that Rio Ngumoha is suddenly going to bang 10 goals between now and the end of the season, but he offers something different. He makes defenders panic and retreat. And I'm glad that this is starting to be written about more and more now, because it was clear to everybody yesterday that we got something different from Rio when he came on the pitch. You could see the impact he had straight away. And I understand that he is still a fledgling young player and he's going to make mistakes. That will happen. But God, the excitement when he comes on the pitch. You can feel it, as a fan, Saying we spoke about Hugo Ekitike. I remember going to the United game, and it wasn't going our way, but when Hugo came off the bench, the whole of Anfield just lifted and you could feel it. It's the same for Rio Ngumoha. So, yes, if we want to keep the good vibes going, I would suggest the manager does indeed need to start utilising Rio Ngumoha far more than he has. And certainly, I would like to see him get the nod to start against West Ham. We'll have more on Rio in a moment, but some interesting stats around Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate. Some, well, quite frankly, brilliant stats. So Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate are both in the top 3 for aerial duel success in the Premier League this season. Bossing it at the back, said anything Liverpool. Virgil van Dijk, your captain, 133 aerial duels won in the Premier League this season. Ibu, 96 aerial duels won in the Premier League this season. And this is why it's pivotal for me the club try their best to sort out the Konate situation. If we can keep Ibu, then the pressure to rebuild the partnerships at the centre of that Liverpool defence for the future are limited somewhat. With Xhaka coming in, it doesn't give us as big a headache as if we lost Konate, and we know the Verge may be gone in a year's time as well. So we'll keep you up to date with that one as and when we have more information on the Konate situation. But for now, I want to move on to speak a little bit about Curtis Jones. Jamie Carragher was speaking about Curtis Jones and his performance, and this is what Carra had to say. Curtis Jones is always taking too many touches. He needs to be sharper. That's been an issue for his entire Liverpool career. He was always wanting too much time on the ball. And when Jamie talks about that being his entire Liverpool career, I dare to say he's probably talking about his time at the underage levels as well, because that was a criticism that was labelled at Curtis Jones in underage football. When he was playing under 18s, you could see that was like he thought he was the best player out there and he wanted the ball from the point of view of, give me the ball, I'll make something happen for the team. It's a good arrogance. It's an arrogance that you need in football, and I've no issue with that. But this is right. He does take a little bit long on the ball. And Curtis Jones made 3 errors leading to a shot versus Nottingham Forest, the most by any player in a single Premier League match this season. And that is a damning statistic. So, yeah, I don't want to see Curtis Jones at right back anymore. Thank you very much. And I did notice a few of those. Now, I'm not going to say I noticed the 3 errors yesterday, but I had 1 or 2 on my mind. And, yeah, fair to say it wasn't the best experiment there for Curtis at right back. So, Squawka, let's move on to them for a second. They have a stat that LFC Transfer Room posted to say, no side has scored fewer early goals than Liverpool this season. Only 2 in the first 20 minutes of games. And no side has scored more late goals than Liverpool. 15 in the final 15 minutes. Why do it early when you can do it late? Well, I would love to actually answer that one. Because if you do it early, then you can make the changes later in the game. You can protect the players. You can give youngsters a chance. And this has been one of my bugbears with Arne since he's come in. We're having to win matches in the second half. Go win them in the first 60. Then you can start to make those changes. You can rest players, help with recovery, give younger players a chance. I think it's something that somebody should be sitting down and trying to get through to Arne on. Again, I'm sure they're aware of this. They're not idiots. I certainly am an idiot. But again, it's right there to see. So, let's go to transfers.com, and I talked to you guys about this a few days ago. They are saying that Liverpool are monitoring the progress of Leeds United centre-back Jakob Bijol. The Slovenian is seen as a replacement for Ibrahim Konate, who's likely to leave Anfield at the end of this season when his current contract expires. Now, I wouldn't go as far as to say likely anymore. I think truly it's unknown whether he leaves Anfield at the end of the season or not. I don't know either way, but like I've said, the vibes have been getting a little bit better lately. I think even one of the boys from the Echo were talking about at the press conference for Arne. You could just feel something was a little bit different around the Canada situation, but let's wait and see. So, highest average possession in the Premier League. Liverpool do in fact lead this table with an average of 60.8% possession. Then comes Manchester City, 59.2%, Chelsea 58.5%, Arsenal 57.6%, and Newcastle 53.5%. So I told you I had a little bit more on Rio Ngumoha, and this comes from Lewis Steele, who said, a few times in 2026, Rio Ngumoha has come on and done something neither winger on the pitch had been able to do in the 80 minutes beforehand. He makes defenders retreat and panic. He absolutely does. And it's clear for all of us fans to see, and it was clear to see again in the game. But Ian Ladyman, his post for the Daily Mail, I think it is, said Arne Slot doesn't really think that Rio Ngumoha is quite ready for regular football. And that's what the thumbnail was about today. Not ready is in relation to Arne not thinking he's ready. I absolutely think Rio Ngumoha is ready. Now, I can always understand the managers want to look after and protect a younger player. But at this point, it feels more like that's not the case. It's more a case of, I don't want him to play regularly because I don't think he's ready. And it is his call ultimately, ladies and gents. But the journalists starting to push the angle of it now. Fans are certainly pushing for it. We asked last night in the late night agenda, do you think that Rio Ngumoha should start against West Ham? And I dare say it was about 88, 87% that said yes, they want him to start. And I think that's a sentiment that you could put right across the Liverpool fan base and probably get a similar number. He should be starting this one. Cody Gakpo and Mohamed Salah, between them, weren't really at it yesterday. Mohamed Salah did have a good setup that he did for Curtis Jones where he nodded the ball back and Curtis had our first shot on target in the game. But that aside, both of them really struggled to make an impact on the game. And as Ian Ladyman said, Rio, Arne doesn't think he's ready, but going back to Lewis Steele, he says you can see he did something in the 10 minutes he was on that the others weren't able to do in the 80 minutes that they were. So I really would love to know your thoughts on this one. Liverpool paid about 8 million quid, I think it was. So it was either 8.6 or 6.8 million. I don't have the number in front of me. Was the tribunal fee that Liverpool agreed with Chelsea for Rio Ngumoha. And over the course of his future Liverpool career, we're going to look back on this as one of the absolute bargains of probably a generation. Like, if we're talking of 5 years' time and Rio has fulfilled the potential that we all think, imagine looking back and thinking we got this kid for somewhere between 6 and 8 million quid. I mean, I'm still dining out on the Andy Robertson thing. What was that? Fat boy still dining out? I know. Probably could have used better words there. I'll write the jokes for you, ladies and gentlemen. But honestly, I remember when we basically swapped Kevin Stewart for Andy Robertson and still feeling like, God almighty, we got away with that one, 8.5 million quid. So for me, Rio is an undoubted talent. And most importantly, he's no fear. You've seen it up against Newcastle at the start of the season. You've seen it when he came on and had a good goal ruled out for an offside in the cup that wasn't actually offside. The kid has no fear. He knows where the back of the goal is and he makes things happen. Pretty self-explanatory for me. So look, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for me for now. But I will be back here tonight, 9 o'clock for the late night agenda. Hope you can join me for it. Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section on everything that we've discussed. And we'll see you later. Much love. Bye-bye.